What's going on, everybody? It's the halfback here. Welcome to episode number 10 of my Rising Above Adversity AFC Bournemouth safe. And of course, today is the day of the playoff final against Middlesbrough. It's been a long old season, hasn't it? But it's been a memorable season for Bournemouth and myself in my first season in charge. And what a way to crown the season it would be if we can secure promotion to the Premier League. Middlesbrough, as I said, are the opponents in the final. Our second trip to Wembley, it will be after the Capital One Cup final appearance earlier on in the season. But let me pick the team for this crucial game. I'm so nervous. I mean, you know, I'm really nervous for this game. It's a huge game. But let me pick the team. I'm going to go with the same team and system, in fact, from the semi-final second leg. I feel like these players put in a huge performance in that second leg against Fulham, and each and every one of them are deserving of another go at it. So in goal, we've got Artur Boruc. We've got the back four: Simon Francis, Steve Cook, and Danny Wilson. Simon Francis, Steve Cook, Danny Wilson, and Charlie Daniels. Right midfield, we've got Ryan Fraser, Harry Arter, and Andrew Sermon in the middle. Mark Pugh on the left wing. Craig Davis and Callum Wilson up front. Believe Tommy Elphick, yeah, he's back from injury. The captain of the club is bit of a big decision to leave him out of the team. But I feel like Danny Wilson deserves to start this game. His performance against Fulham was incredible alongside Steve Cook, and in my opinion he needs to be given another chance in this playoff final. Middlesbrough, of course, in real life, suffering playoff final heartache with defeat against Norwich, and hopefully we can inflict some more playoff pain on them today. Huge game for the club. Premier League football next season is really important for us, especially as I may touch on it later, but our finances are not that great at the moment. We're losing money, and we don't get promoted. We could not be in trouble, but it's going to make it really difficult for us next season. I feel like to improve the team, which I'll be obviously wanting to do. I'm going to tell the players to get revenge on Middlesbrough. I can't remember the last time we played them what the result was, so maybe we lost to them, but I'll also add to each and every player that I have faith, and you can see most of them are motivated and are up for this final. We need a big performance, obviously. Middlesbrough playing with 3 at the back in this one, 3-5-2 system, which is quite interesting. They've actually got Glenn Hoddle in charge at the club, which is also quite interesting. Aitor Korenka actually left to join Swansea, I think, a few months ago. So Glenn Hoddle is in charge. But early on, good signs in terms of the way we're keeping the ball. Mark Pugh plays it to Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson's got a bit of space. He finds Craig Davis, and Craig Davis comes big again. Of course, he scored in the playoff semi-finals against Fulham in the last few months of the season. He really started to come good for me after a really tough time, and he scored the opening goal in the playoff final. A good start. Fulham, we started off the game really quickly, got in their faces, and we've done that here again. And we've regained the ball here. Harry Arter in the midfield, such a key component in our team. Just controls that midfield. His passing ability is sensational. Ball's been played over the top. Craig Davis is in, hasn't got much support, but he does. He finds Callum Wilson with a beautiful ball, slid across the face of the box. And Callum Wilson, his poacher instincts kick in once again to put us 2-0 up, and Middlesbrough looking like the demons of that real life playoff final against Norwich are kicking in here again. And early going down 2 goals early on in the game. Half an hour just gone in, 2-0 up. Brilliant first half so far. Wow, if we could go up by the playoffs, I mean, it really is the best way to go up, I feel. There's no better feeling than winning in the playoffs as we break again through. Craig Davis having a monster game, but that was a terrible shot. It goes towards the corner flag, but I'll let him off. He scored the opening goal in this final, and Middlesbrough have posed no threat whatsoever in terms of going forward, and we lead 2-0 in the first half of the playoff final. I mean, it's kind of flown past, but we're 2-0 up. Brilliant start. I'll tell the players to keep it up There's no more that we could have done in that first half. Defensively, brilliant. Going forward, fantastic. The partnership of Callum Wilson and Craig Davis has come on superbly in the last few months. I had high hopes for it right at the start of the season. It kind of didn't pan out how I expected it. I made the changes and I've switched back to it late on in the season, and it kind of is now working out how I wanted it to at the start of the season. But we've got a free kick here. Charlie Daniels floats it in, headed away, but it's going to come back hopefully for us. Danny Wilson on the ball, the centre-back. He's got a bit of a brain rush here on the ball. He gives it away to Vossen. Patrick Bamford looking to get on the end of it, but Harry Arter tracking back well there and knocks it back to Arter Burch, and hopefully we can produce an attack here. Craig Davis on the ball, really a good outlet for us. Early ball in by Fraser. Callum Wilson gets on the end of it. Is he offside? He is, but good early ball in from Ryan Fraser. Unfortunately, Callum Wilson doesn't manage to beat the offside trap. But half an hour to go again. Middlesbrough really not posing any threat to us going forward. Defensively, we're doing superbly with a win in the midfield. But Harry Arter again, you know, he just puts in brilliant performances in pretty much every single game, and he's doing it once again. I'm going to make some changes now, just freshen up the team slightly. Mark Pugh's having a good game, so I'm going to leave him on. I don't think he deserves to come off, but I'll take off Andrew Sermon. I'll bring on Union O'Kane in the midfield, and yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. That's all the changes I'm going to make for the game. Danny Wilson at centre-back's on a yellow card. He's having a good game as well, though. Of course, decided to leave the captain, Tommy Elphick, on the bench for this one, to give Danny Wilson a chance in this final, and he's proven that I've made a good decision with that one. But the game is closing out now. We're 10 minutes away from the Premier League. Bournemouth, like in real life, Callum Wilson's picked up an injury. Oh, that's not great, of course, but it is the end of the game, and it is the last game of the season, so hopefully he won't be out for too long. Callum Wilson, what a fantastic season. Again, with another goal and at an important time. He scored so many big goals for us this season. But minutes to go in this player final. The ball comes in, and we've won a penalty. Daniel Ayala commits the foul in the box, and Tokolo Ranti off the bench. Looks like he's going to be the one to step up. Harry Arter usually takes the penalties, but Ranti's been given the chance to seal promotion to the Premier League. Will he do it? Yes, he will. Places it beautifully into the bottom corner. Bournemouth will be in the Premier League next season. What a comprehensive victory, you know, to come into a player final. I was expecting it to be so tight, but we've been brilliant on the day, and Bournemouth have secured promotion to the Premier League. 3-0 win over Middlesbrough in the player finals. What a season. Wow, what a season. I'll tell the players that to enjoy these moments. This is what every footballer dreams of. But honestly, I couldn't have dreamed of such, you know, a fantastic first season. I mean, in my mind, I was kind of hoping to challenge for promotion this season. But to win the Capital One Cup and then go up through the playoffs, I mean, it couldn't have been done in a better way, in my opinion. The season couldn't have gone any better. But I'll just go through the couple of news items. Of course, promotion secured, as there's the confirmation. We will be in the Premier League next season at the expense of Middlesbrough. We'll have a quick look at the budgets for this season. Tokolo Ranti ending a goal drought. Let's have a look. What will be the budget for this season? So we've got 14 million. That's really interesting. If I take a look at the finances, we've got 3 million in the bank. So I'm not sure where that 14 million is coming from. We're only projected to have a balance of 552,000. I'm really not sure where that budget of 14 million is coming from. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do after this in terms of when I'm going to come back. But just again, looking through some of these news items, unexpected. We were predicted to come mid-table this season. I think it was about 13th we were predicted to come. We got in the playoffs in that last final playoff spot. And the way we got into the playoffs as well, you know, pretty much scraping through because of a last-minute goal in another game. I mean, it's just been a season full of drama, full of excitement for the fans. I mean, it's an incredible season. But we will be in the Premier League next season. Thank you guys again for joining me for this episode. So guys, I stopped recording the video for the playoff finals, and afterwards I kind of realised that I didn't take you through, you know, my thoughts on what I'm going to be doing with the squad during the summer. Of course, we're now going to be in the Premier League. So, I just wanted to kind of, let you guys know my kind of plans for the squad, shaping up for next season. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly run you through some of the players we've got now and kind of where I see our squad, being for next season. So I'll quickly start off with the goalkeeper. We've got Artur Buric, obviously on loan this season. Fantastic season for him. Played 55 games for us. I mean, just a mental amount of games this season for Artur Buric. On loan from Southampton, of course. He's leaving on a free transfer. I'll definitely be looking to bring him back on a free transfer if we can do that deal. I mean, I'm quite sure his wages will be fairly high. I mean, we're paying £90,000 already on his wages, but he was so instrumental in our, our Capital Cup final win and our playoff, promotion win. So, I feel like he needs to come back in next season. He is 35 years old, so I may look to bring in a younger keeper as well. But I'll definitely be looking to bring in Artur Buric on a free transfer, depending on his wage demands. But looking at defence now, defensively was a kind of weak area in our team. If I just show you the championship table quickly, where is it? Where can we look at the actual league? There we go. If we just look at the league table, we conceded 60 goals this season. That is a huge amount of goals. I mean, we scored 81. So, if we took out maybe 15, 20 goals, conceded 15 or 20 less goals this season, we probably would have gone up automatically. Defensively, I feel like we need some work. So if I run you through some of the defenders, we've got Simon Francis at right back. Done fantastic this season, but I feel like we could upgrade on him. He is 30 years old now, possibly look to bring in a younger right back. So that's an area I may look to be adding in. Right back is certainly an area. Centre back is actually an area I'm not going to be looking to, splash out on. Steve Cook, 24 years old, fantastic potential in my opinion, done brilliantly this season. Of course, his value's rising and rising. He's going to be an important player for us in the future. So we've got one excellent young centre-back there, and we've got another one in Danny Wilson. Of course, played in the playoff final. You can see his attributes are decreasing. But signed him in the summer for £500,000. I said at the time, I feel like we've got a bargain there, and he's proven what a bargain he's been. Just fantastic performances. Of course, not been starting every week. Of course, we've got the captain, Tommy Elphick, who's been obviously kind of a mainstay alongside Steve Cook, who's also been excellent this season. But Danny Wilson's played a lot. You can see Tommy Elphick here as well, really important player for us. I'm not quite sure he's going to be good enough for the Premier League. I mean, he's lacking pace. His tackling's not fantastic as well as his positioning. So I may look to bring in another centre-back to go alongside Steve Cook. Danny Wilson's still, progressing. I feel like he still can develop more, although his ability and potential ability, is at the same level at the moment. I still feel like there is some improvement from him. Left-back is definitely an area I'm going to be looking to improve on in the summer. Charlie Daniels was average, really, for us this season. He's decent, but in my opinion, not good enough for the Premier League. So he'll become a backup left back. We've also got Ian Hart, who will be leaving the club in the summer. Done alright in the limited opportunities that he got, but 37 years old now. We're going to be looking to bring in younger players. Ian Hart will not figure in our future plans. So Ian Hart's going to leave on a free transfer. His contract's up at this end of the season. But moving on into midfield and the wings is definitely an area I'm going to be looking to improve on in the summer. Ryan Fraser played a lot of games this season, developing really well. A lot of high hopes for him. 21 years old, an average rating of 7.5, 6 goals, 10 assists in all competitions. So an excellent season for him at such a young age. So he's someone that will really be a part of our future at the club, I feel like. But Mark Pugh, 28 years old, he done well for us this season. I'll say that, but he's just not good enough for the Premier League. You can see by his attributes, he will probably remain at the club, I'm not sure. Or we might cash in on him. He's in his last year of his contract. He's worth 1.6 million. So he may look to cash in on Mark Pugh, because in my opinion he's just not going to be good enough for the Premier League. Jacob Murphy, on loan from Norwich. He had a really good season for us, but obviously he's only on loan. We don't have an option to buy on him. And again, I'm not sure if he's going to be someone we will look to bring in the Premier League. I don't think he's good enough just yet for the Premier League. Obviously, he may develop and become good enough, but in my opinion, he's not there yet. Matt Ritchie is natural as a winger. He's definitely someone who we're going to be using in the Premier League. Not quite sure, obviously, with the system that I'm going to go with in the Premier League. 4-4-2 is probably not going to be, the main system. So, we'll look for it where we can fit in Matt Ritchie. He will be someone who we'll use going forward, definitely. I feel didn't really figure much towards the end of the season. Of course, he came back from a long injury and kind of struggled at the end of the season, but hopefully he can improve on next season. Central midfield, Harry Arter, don't need to say a lot about him. He will be staying at the club, no doubt about that. He will be in our midfield next season. What a season he had. If I just look at his stats for the season, 10 goals and 13 assists in all competitions. Obviously, 7 of those goals, was it 7? Yeah, 7 of those goals were from the penalty spot. But fantastic season for him, 7.2 average rating. And, he's definitely going to be someone I'll be making a big part of my team next season. Then we've got Andrew Sermon alongside him. And this is an area I'll be looking to improve on, that kind of ball-winning midfield role. The more defensive of the two central midfielders is what I'm going to look to improve on. Andrew Sermon's a decent player. He had a good season as well for us. If I just look at his average rating, what was it? A 7 average rating. He wasn't spectacular, but he done his job well in that midfield. Won the ball back, kept things really simple in the midfield. But again, he's someone I feel like I can improve on, and I'll look to see in the market. I haven't really looked at players just yet, because I'll kind of looking to see if we got promoted first, because that would have really drastically changed our transfer plans if we didn't get promoted, So I haven't really looked at the kind of players I want to bring in just yet. We've also got Eunan O'Kane as a centre midfielder, 24 years old. I mean, I'm not sure if he's going to develop into a top class Premier League midfielder, and he's worth 4.6 million. So if we get a decent offer in for him, I may look to cash in on him, because as I said, I don't feel like he's going to develop into a top class central midfielder. We've also got Sean McDonald. Didn't play. I think he played 1 game this season for us. He's definitely going to be leaving the club. I'm not looking to keep him around. And Dan Gosling as well is someone I'll be looking to probably move on. Didn't play a lot of games for us this season. Not good enough for the Premier League in my opinion. At 25, he's not really going to improve that much in terms of his attributes. So I'll be looking to probably move him on. And then kind of quickly moving on to the strikers, we've got Craig Davis. I mean, he became a bit of a hero towards the end of the season, scored a lot of important goals, scored in the second leg of the playoff semi-final, scored in the playoff final. But again, he's someone who can definitely be improved on. I'm not sure if I'm going to play 2 up front next season, which worked really well towards the end of the season this year. But Craig Davis is he's just not going to cut it, I don't think, in the Premier League. Decent championship striker, no more than that. I kind of just brought him in with this season in mind, just to kind of get us up. Obviously didn't have a fantastic season. If I show you his stats, only scored 11 goals, all of them coming in the league, but he scored the really important goals at the end of the season. That's what really mattered. But on £10,000 a week as well, so I may look to cash in on him, or just keep him around as a backup striker. But one person who will be definitely staying, the player of the season, the second top goal scorer in the championship, Callum Wilson. I've raved about him so much, in the last, this season pretty much. Only the first episode kind of where he struggled. His average rating is not too high, but you can see it there. 36 goals in 50 appearances this season, 29 goals in the league. Just a sensational goal return for him. And I'm expecting some interest in him from the Premier League. Hasn't come yet, but with such a fantastic goal scoring season, I'll be shocked if no one just does have a look at him and try to bring him in. But at 23 years old, I'm not going to be looking to cash in on him. He's a big part of the future at Bournemouth. We've also got Ranty as well up front. Not had a great season. Again, he's someone I might look to cash in on. Probably not going to be good enough for the Premier League. 24 years old. So a lot of these players I've talked about, I've said they're probably not going to be good enough for the Premier League. You know, again, looking at some other players, we've got Elliot Ward, hardly played this season, centre back, 30 years old, not going to be good enough for the Premier League in my opinion. You know, it's just a common theme. There's a lot of players that are good enough for the Championship, but in the Premier League, they're just probably not going to cut it. And in my opinion, I'm probably going to need to make a lot of changes during the summer in order to make a squad that is going to be competitive for the Premier League. Obviously, we're going to be expected to go straight back down, and but hopefully I can kind of build a squad that can, you know, stay up in the first season in the Premier League and then kick on from there. Of course, I actually need to build a squad as well that's going to be able to compete in Europe, because we're going to be in the Europa League as well. So I'm going to need to build a squad that can be competitive in both the Premier League and the Europa League. You know, I'm going to need a fairly big size squad. So that's something I'm going to have to think about. But again, I just wanted to kind of give you my quick thoughts after that playoff win, after the dust has kind of settled on that, and kind of you know, what I want to do with this squad. But again, thank you guys again for watching these videos. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please do leave a thumbs up. As I said at the end of the playoff final win, I'm going to wrap it up here for now. Again, I'm not sure when I'm going to come back. You know, I'm kind of decided on that there. But it's been the halfback. Thank you guys again, and I'll catch you guys in a bit.